Game 1 by EveryShadeOfHappy. Read by Rat Overlord. Summary. Class 1A needs to work on their situational awareness and stealth, and there's no better way than by playing old childhood games. 6 games, 6 chances to learn new skills and show off old ones. But as the games progress, people can't help but wonder why Izuku is so good at them.
Your situational awareness is frankly horrendous. Just last night, Kaminari was convinced I was a ghost coming to eat him when I came back from patrol because he didn't notice when I came in. As future heroes, being that dense in battle will get you killed.
Aizawa-sensei glares at said example, who turns bright red and looks away embarrassed.
With all the villain attacks, your lessons have been messed up. Not to mention, All Might can't stick to a plan if it killed him.
That last part was muttered under his breath, but Chihiro still heard him. Perks of having advanced hearing, she supposes.
And so, our next few lessons will be rather unorthodox in the hopes that you will learn to have better situational awareness, stealth, and maybe even pick up a few more skills.
The entire class perks up. Lately, all they've been working on is hand-to-hand fighting, so it would be nice to shake it up a bit. What will the lessons be, Aizawa-sensei? Mina asks curiously. When Aizawa flashes his famous Cheshire grin, the whole class feels their excitement wither. Nothing good comes from that smile.
We'll be playing advanced versions of your childhood games,
he announces, hiding a smile behind his scarf. The room immediately bursts into pandemonium. What do you mean childhood games? Like tag? Kaminari cries, outraged. I don't see how this will help our situational awareness or stealth, sensei.
I agree, Gettle.
Will you extra shut up?
What games will we be playing, sir? And so forth. The entire class is a mixture of confused and excited.
Be quiet,
Aizawa-sensei eventually says.
The games we play will be a continuous lesson until we have our champion. Some games will be able to be completed in a day, but others might take days if you do your job right. We'll be playing 5 games, and in the 6th game, our champions will go head-to-head to decide not only who has the best situational awareness, but stealth.
What games, sir? Momo asks. And is this fair? We have several stealth-based heroes in our class. They'll have an unfair advantage to the others. It's not like Momo to whine, but she doesn't see the point in this, to be honest.
Not fair? What about the sports festival? Your stealth-based heroes have no advantages when they compete, and it's unfairly advantaged to those with powerful or explosive quirks. For once, the fields are being flipped. Both kinds of heroes need to learn to walk that edge, and be not only willing, but also able to use those skills. Even if you plan to go above ground, not all of your missions will be above ground. Subterfuge, stealth, situational awareness. Those will all serve you no matter which branch of heroics you go into.
Aizawa lectures, watching his students slump in defeat and his stealth-based students straighten up a bit. This will be where they shine, and Aizawa is sure that will be a nice change for the kids. All right, sensei. We trust you. So what are the games? Aizawa is taken aback once again by how thoroughly these kids trust him, but after a beat of silence, he takes it in stride and continues.
The first game is an adaptation of Capture the Flag and flag football. You will have 3 flags that will be kept in sight on your person. The goal is to be the last person with flags. If you are running low, stealing other people's flags will give you another life. While you only need to keep 3 on you, you could have 16 flags in your room, and those would save you unless all 3 of your flags are taken before you are able to get the others and replace them.
Aizawa looks out at everyone.
This will last until 1 person has flags, and if your extra flags are taken and you are disqualified and have extra flags in your room or wherever you choose to hide them, those will immediately be taken out of the game. You can't give them out to your friends. Am I clear?
Everyone nods.
Sir, Does that mean that even when we are in the dorms, people can still steal our flags?
Aizawa-sensei sighs.
Yes, Ida. If they want, they could sneak into your room or ambush you at breakfast or in class. You will live in a battleground until one person remains.
The atmosphere shifts, and suddenly everyone is side-eyeing their desk mates. Aizawa nods. Good. They're taking this seriously.
Your flags will be outside your dorm tomorrow morning, and the games will commence as soon as they're outside your door. For the other games, I won't go into detail until it's time to start them, but I will tell you. For some, the general gist lies in the name. For others, you might not know until I explain the rules. They are hide and seek, paintball, guardian, and imposter. Plan wisely.
With that, Aizawa sweeps out, leaving a room full of chattering teenagers. And something he'll wish he noticed by the end of the games is the boy sitting behind Bakugo. The one with the most flashy quirk, who shouldn't have trouble with these stealth games, and yet he speaks to no one, a gentle smile playing on his face. Aizawa will wish at the end of these games that he had paid more attention to Midoriya Isuku in those beginning days. Isuku peeks out his door at 3 in the morning, delighted to see the flags are there. That means the games have begun. He quickly picks them up and shuts the door quietly. Isuku isn't stupid. He knows exactly what everyone was thinking today at class. The main players would be Shoji, Jiro, and Hagakure, the ones who specialize in situational awareness and stealth. A student you can't even see, and the students who it is nearly impossible to sneak up on. And they would be right. He also knows that the last person they would expect to be good at this game would be sweet, clumsy Deku. Because while Deku was a good friend and a great hero, his whole shtick depended on being flashy. But none of them knew him before high school. The only one who would have any inkling of what Izuku could do had always considered Isuku too far beneath him to notice Isuku unless it was to hurt him. But life is cruel, and middle schoolers are even crueler. Isuku had learned at a very early age that if he wanted to survive, he needed to be quiet. Now, know where everyone was, learn how to fade into the background. He never had to use those skills here because UI was different. Maybe because he has a quirk now, or maybe not. But it was different, so he locked those skills up tight, learned how to smile again, and let his mumbles out. And now he was being told that he needed those skills to be a hero. It was bittersweet. In some way, it's like all of his bullies had helped him on his way to becoming a hero, but Isuku would take those skills and dominate. He would show them what it really meant to survive in the wild. The first step, catch them off guard. As far as he can tell, everyone assumes the game starts in the morning, but the flags are out and so the games are on. As fun as it would be to take everyone's flags right now, he should at least give them some chance, but that doesn't mean he won't take some. Izuku hooks the flags into his pajamas and opens his door. He pads out silently, even his breath silent. Izuku reviews his notes mentally as he creeps down the hall. The only people he needs to worry about hearing him, when he's already so quiet, are Shoji and Jiro. But Shoji doesn't have advanced hearing unless he makes extra ears on his limbs. And if he's operating under the assumption that it starts in the morning, he wouldn't have made one, if he even can when he's sleeping. Which leaves Jiro, which shouldn't be a problem. So in a wave of cunning that no one saw coming, Isuku visits almost every door and takes one flag. Well, one flag from everyone except Mineta, Hagakure, and Shoji. He took all of theirs. When he's done, he creeps back into his room to wait for the people to wake up. In the morning, people wake up to only 2 flags, and Mineta wakes up to none. Isuku carefully hooks 2 flags onto his belt and slides 2 into his bag just in case. He makes his way in with others, being careful to blend in by staying as far as he can from others. People are exchanging wary looks, but are talking carefully, hands guarding their flags as they eat. I thought we were supposed to get 3, Uraraka asks, confused when she comes down. Did you not? I got 3, Jiro replies. I only got 2 as well. Waves of confusion spill over, Isuku carefully adding his voice into the mayhem. Wait, I didn't get any! Mineta whines. Eventually, Ida stands up and chops his hands down firmly.
I'm sure this is just a mistake. We'll talk to Aizawa-sensei about it during class and get our proper amount of flags. Until then, how about we have a truce? It doesn't seem fair that we can lose when we don't even have our flags.
Another round of agreement, and the morning is off to a perfect start. It all comes crashing down when they walk into class and Ida stands up.
Sir, you said we would have all 3 flags, but most of us woke up with only 2, and Mineta had none. I believe there must have been some sort of Sensei holds up a hand. We put 3 outside your door. The game started as soon as they were placed outside your door. If you didn't have all 3, that means someone took them. It's through no fault but your own.
Everyone falls silent, and then funnily enough, they all turn to the one person who has 3 in the classroom.
Wait, guys, I swear I didn't.
Jiro, please.
Then why do we all have 2 when you have 3?
Mina accuses.
Yeah, and you hate me,
Mineta wails, with teary eyes.
I didn't even get to try, you thief!
Plus, if you have advanced hearing, you wouldn't have heard the flags being laid out. You would have heard the flags being laid out, Uraraka accuses.
No offense, Jiro. That is so not manly. I'll kill you, you fucking extra!
Guys, it wasn't me.
Man, I thought we were friends.
Denki and Shiro moan, looking at their flags in dismay. Were you that scared of us, Jiro? Shoji asks, his limb turning into a frowning mouth. I'm going to make sure that you're taking out as soon as possible next game, Hagakure declares. Isuku barely keeps the smile off his face. In one fell swoop, he gained over 20 flags and turned his class against his biggest competition. She'll be out of the game by the end of the day, and he can pick off anyone else easily. Still, to keep up appearances, he schools his face into a wobbling, almost cry face and begins to talk. Jiro, I know this is a stealth game, but you could have at least given people a chance. Aren't we your friends?
Todoroki stands up. Midori is about to cry, and it's your fault, Jiro. You're not making it through the day unscathed.
The half-hot, half-cold user hisses. Midoriya's friends happen to be very protective of the greenette. Jiro takes one look at the pissed-off faces of her classmates and gulps. She's gonna die, and she didn't even do this. She's being framed. First period is tense. Jiro whipping around at every sound. Sue managed to steal another one of Ida's flags with an apologetic kettle. Isuku decided he was gonna piss off Kacchan, and with one fell swoop, reaches in front of him and yanks both flags off his old bully's belt. Kacchan had nearly destroyed his desk, but it was worth it to get the aggressive blonde out of the game. And that was just first period. In second, a full-out brawl occurred between Denki and Kirishima, only for both of them to be taken out by Sero, who happily collects the extra flags. When lunch hits, Jiro is cornered by everyone in the class, even the ones who were out, and her flags are taken forcibly, with no semblance of stealth. Another step of the plan complete. Everyone now thinks those 20-ish flags are now out of commission. And to further cement his innocence, Isuku shyly approaches Shoto. It's obvious to most except Shoto and Isuku that the other likes them. But Isuku thinks he can use their friendship to keep him incognito for a little longer. So he offers one of Kacchan's flags to the red and white-haired teenager with a small smile. I know we're supposed to be enemies, but I just wanted to appreciate how you defended me against Jiro. So I wanted you to have my extra flag. I don't want you to get out just because of her. Isuku only feels a little guilty, blaming his actions on the other girl. You do what you have to survive. Shoto doesn't even think about it, taking the flag with a small smile.
Thank you. And of course I defended you against her. You're my first friend. My best friend.
Shoto says quietly. Isuku smiles brightly. Well, in that case, Aizawa didn't say that we couldn't have allies. I'd sleep easier knowing you have my back and I have yours. And the only time we can't share flags is if one of us loses. So I could share my extras, and so could you. Keep us in this, however we can, yeah? Isuku offers. And again, Shoto doesn't even think about it. He trusts Isuku wholeheartedly, and so he immediately agrees. After all, there couldn't be any downsides to having someone to watch his back. The rest of the day passes by relatively normal, if stilted. Everyone refuses to talk to each other, though Isuku has seen a few alliances forming, mainly Ida and Ochako, and Koda and Tokoyami. And for now, Isuku doesn't interfere anymore, letting the game go how it goes. Might as well make things easier for himself anyways. The only time he acts is when he feels someone collects too many flags and goes to steal a few, leaving the other person doubting their counting abilities, and Isuku to add to his ever-growing stash. Over the next few days, this is how it goes. Ida is taken out by Tsu when he goes on a rant when he sees Kachan with his feet on the coffee table and stops paying attention. Sero is taken out by Koda. Koda has rats go and fetch Sero's flags. Sero fainted in terror when he saw 30 rats coming for him. Koda is taken out by Mina in a silly attempt to have revenge for Sero. All she has to do is threaten to dunk a rat in acid, and he gives them up willingly. Aoyama is taken out by himself, forgetting his flags in the laundry room and Shoto picking them up. Isuku takes out Tsu, but only because she was wide open and would have been suspicious not to. Tokoyami takes out Mina, affronted by her threats towards mice. Seito took out Tokoyami, luring him in with sweets and then striking when the time came. By the time Friday rolls around, only Ochako, Isuku, Ojiro, Tokoyami, Todoroki, and Momo remain. Ochako only has one flag, one taken by Koda when he was still in. Ojiro has a full set and 2 extras. He'd been forgotten in the fuss. Tokoyami also has a full set and extras, and Momo has 2. Todoroki had given him one of Aoyama's flags, so Shoto has 3 full and 3 extra, which could be a problem. With so few people left, things grow even more tense Friday. Ochako booby-traps her entire room if Ojiro's resounding scream was to say that he was taken out in the middle of the night. That, or she was just that scary, but Isuku would bet on the booby-traps. At one point, when Jiro walked too close to Shoto, he encased her in ice, even though she was out. Momo accidentally shot Tokoyami when he'd been on the opposite side of the room, and when she turned around, she'd freaked out and made a gun. It luckily had only been sleeping gas, but still bad. And just as Isuku planned, everyone except Shoto has forgotten to even think of him as a target, which means Saturday is the day to strike. He'd do most of them at night, but it's no fun that way. So when Saturday morning dawns, Isuku pads downstairs and sneaks up behind Tokoyami. He'd been watching, and on Saturdays, Tokoyami always got up at dawn to drink tea and read poetry. Neither him nor Dark Shadow noticed him, even when he slipped the flags off, which leaves Ochako, Momo, and Shoto if Izuku is correct. Isuku doesn't think he'll need the vents quite yet to get Momo, who has been keeping herself sequestered in her room. Instead, he climbs up the building, crawling into Momo's balcony and waiting until she's not looking to slip in. It's easy enough to take her flags, slipping out before she sees him. He's only halfway down the hall when he hears her scream in frustration. How did anyone get in? Shoto and Ochako are the only ones left. Shoto is visiting his mother currently, so he won't know that everyone is taken out until he's informed later tonight, which means Isuku can ambush him at the door. So he only needs to worry about Ochako right now. Chaco, I found this headband on clearance at the store. I thought it was super cute, and I know we're in the middle of a lesson right now, and you don't trust me, so maybe I can just set it here, and you can see if you like it? Isuku asks, making sure to not get too close as he holds the headband down. Ochako looks away from the card game. Oh, Deku, I trust you. I don't think you could lie to a frog. She teases, skipping up. She was wrong. After she gets close enough to grab it, her flag is in Izuku's hand immediately. She gapes at him disbelievingly. Oh, what? Deku? Sorry, Chaco. I didn't mean it about the headband, though. She takes it with a pout. I was so close, too. I can't blame you, though. Good luck against Shoto, though. 2 hours later, the games conclude. A simple, Shoto, let's talk strategy to get the last two out, yeah? And Shoto was close enough to grab his flags. Shoto took it with grace, especially once he learned that he was the last. Come Monday, Aizawa tells them to bring every flag they gathered with them to class. So, Isuku does. Aizawa fixes them all with a disappointed stare when everyone is seated.
Dump out your flags on your desk.
Some people have none, like Jiro, Kachan, and Ida. Others have only one or two that they hadn't managed to put on before they were taken out completely. Isuku is the only one with an abundance of flags, easily screeching into the 30s. Everyone stares in shock at the pile of flags on his desk.
Midoriya played the game well. In fact, he's the only one who deserves an A. Everyone I even remotely thought would do well failed. 5 minutes after we laid out the flags, Midoriya went down and took one from each of you. He could have taken them all and ended it there. Perhaps it was pity, perhaps not. But he did you a favor and stopped you from getting an F. Not one person heard him, and when he manipulated the story perfectly, pinning the blame on Jiro, he was able to sneak into several of your rooms and steal your extra flags, take them off of your body without you even noticing, and make himself fade into the background. None of you thought of Midoriya as a threat, and that is why he won. He played everyone like a fiddle. Learn from him. We'll go more into depth on your failures at a later time and analyze what Midoriya did well then as well.
Everyone nods. Isuku can tell he'll have some apologies to make to his friends. But he won. The downside is now they'll be on high alert from him. He lost the element of surprise, but it's fine. He's always been playing against the odds after all.
Next game, hide and seek.
Hi, thanks for listening. Sorry if the audio is a little janky. This is my first time ever recording a podfic. But if you have any constructive criticism, please feel free to comment and give pro tips for in the future. I want to make podfics of this entire series going forward. But if you leave any comments, just don't be mean. I'm sensitive. But I hope you enjoyed. So thanks.